film starts on Pandora, with Jake Sully recapping his life since joining the Gnostics as chief of the Omadacaya clan. He and Naitari have become parents to Nedium, Loake, and Tuck, along with another adopted daughter, Kiri, who is the biological daughter of Grace Augustine's Gnostics avatar. The kids also spend time with a human boy, Spider, who was left behind with the human scientists after the previous group evacuated Pandora since babies couldn't be put into cryostasis. While the children see Spider as something of a cousin, Naitari feels the boy would be better off with other humans, in part due to her own hatred of the Sky People. While everything seems blissful, Jake's happiness is quickly shattered when shuttles of RDA ships begin to descend upon Pandora, destroying huge parts of the forest and killing the wildlife. Jake and Nate Tyree get their children and the other Gnostics to safety, but Jake holds his wife as they watch in horror at the devastation left behind. 1 year later, Colonel Miles Querich wakes up resurrected in his own avatar body. While he attacks his former teammates, all now in their own Gnostic skins, Querich soon realizes what happened after watching a video log he left himself before their previous attempted mission to tear down the Gnostics' Tree of Souls before he and his team were all killed. After gathering their new weaponry, Querich decides to lead a team back onto Pandora with one goal in mind: killing Jake. The RDA has colonized Pandora and built a mining base, along with a settlement called Bridgehead City. Jake leads several Gnostics to fly their Ikran to attack the humans' aircraft and supply lines. Nedium and Loake attempt to join the fight, nearly getting severely injured in the process. Jake gets them to safety but chastises them for putting themselves in the line of fire. The group returns to their camp with the rest of the clan. Jake discusses with Naitari how these changes are impacting their children's lives. Meanwhile, Spider joins Loake and Kiri as they go to the humans' research facility where Norm Spellman and Max Patel continue to work. Kiri talks to Grace's avatar as her body lies in the tank. Spider then notes that his Gnostics friends at least know their parents, while he knows and resents who his father was, Querich. Querich and his team arrive at their base and meet General Francis Ardmore, who updates him on their operations since his time being dead. Ardmore informs them of the advantages the omadacaya have on them before telling them how they can gain their own upper hand. The team enters the forest at the exact same time that Jake's kids and Spider are playing there. While Kiri immerses herself in the nature, the other kids spot Querich and his team as they survey the former link unit for the humans and their avatars. He finds his skeleton inside the amp suit where he was killed. The villains find the kids, and they realize they are Jake's kids because they have 5 fingers. Querich meets Spider and realizes he is the boy's father. Querich calls in Ardmore and her squad to come down while he takes the other kids as hostages. Jake and Nate Tyree are alerted to the scene, and both are stunned to see their nemesis alive and in a Gnostic's body. Naitari kills some of Querich's team before they open fire. She and Jake manage to get their kids back, but Querich and his surviving teammates fall back, taking Spider with them. Ardmore subjects the boy to a torture method to get him to disclose information on the clan's location, but Querich stops her and opts to try and get closer to Spider to earn his trust. He convinces Spider to ride along with him on their mission, or else the scientists will experiment on him. Jake talks to Naitari about having to leave the clan now that they are being targeted. While Naitari doesn't want to leave her home, Jake assures her that it is best for their children and the rest of the clan. He passes on leadership to another warrior, Tarsum, and he leaves the clan with Naitari and their children. They fly their Ikran and head toward the eastern seaboard to the home of the Mekaina clan of Gnostics. The clan gathers with their leader, Tanawari, and his pregnant wife, Ronald. Jake requests shelter for the sake of his family, though Ronald and other tribesmen are quick to look down on Jake and his kids for their half-human heritage, as well as the potential of bringing their dangers to this land. However, Tanawari respects the accomplishment of the Torik Makto and allows them to stay, and also instructs his children Aonung and Syria to show Jake's children how to adapt to their oceanic surroundings. Querich and his team take Spider through the forest, with Spider becoming their translator for the Gnostics language that the team is still trying to learn. Querich also manages to link himself to his own Ikran, albeit more forcefully than the omadacaya did. Jake's kids join Aonung and Syria, plus Aonung's friend Ratso, as they explore the reef. Syria shows that they communicate with the underwater creatures via sign language, and they link to them the same way the omadacaya link to their animals. However, when Loeke attempts to connect to a creature, he is pulled quickly through the water and is thrown off. Meanwhile, Kiri has a more natural connection to the creatures and helps one of them interact with Tuck. Jake and Nate Tyree are shown how to fly the tsuruk, which can move in the air as well as underwater. Loeke gets closer to Syria, who shows him how to better his breathing underwater. He also takes him and his sisters deeper underwater by using creatures that provide air when resting on their backs. However, Aonung and Ratso are antagonistic toward Kiri for her being considered a half-breed, leading to Loeke punching Aonung in the face. Nedium joins in the fight along with Aonung's friends, leading to Jake scolding his sons for their behavior. Jake forces Loeke to apologize to Aonung. He does so, and Aonung invites Loeke to hunt with him and his friends. They go far enough until they trick Loeke into going after a creature, just before he and his creature are attacked by an akula that kills Loeke's mount before chasing after him. Loeke attempts to swim back up before he runs out of breath, but the akula attempts to go for the kill until Loeke is saved by a whale-like creature called a tulkun, named Payakan. Loeke follows Payakan and finds a harpoon stuck in his fin, so he removes it and earns Payakan's trust. Jake speaks to Kiri, who has been feeling different lately due to what she has been seeing. She claims she can feel the heartbeat of their goddess Iwa, and that it is mighty. Jake assures her that there is nothing wrong with her. Everyone then sees Loeke return, and Tanawari scolds Aonung for leading Loeke beyond the reef when it is forbidden, but Loeke takes the blame for everything to spare Aonung from getting in trouble. Jake tells Loeke that he has shamed the family with his actions, but Aonung comes to respect Loeke. Loeke tells his siblings, plus Syria and the other Mekaina, about his encounter with Payakan, but Syria informs Loeke that Pakayan is considered an outcast among the other tulkun. After Loeke attempts to communicate with Payakan to learn more about his history, Syria takes the others toward the cove of their ancestors, showing them how the land looks during the eclipse. She also guides them underwater to the Mekaina Tree of Souls. When Kiri connects herself to the tree, she is able to see and communicate with Grace. However, Kiri soon suffers a terrible seizure, and her siblings bring her back to the shore. Jake gets Norm and Max to try and help Kiri, but they are of no help until Ronald tries her hand and is able to revive Kiri. Norm tells Jake that any visions she thinks she is seeing might be a result of frontal lobe epilepsy. Unfortunately, Querich's teammate Lyle Wainfleet informs him of a radar picked up off the gunship that Norm and Max came in on. The villains then meet up with a whaling vessel operated by Captain Mick Scoresby and Dr. Ian Garvin to give them more of an advantage, since they are already hunting tulkun for anti-aging remedies. The Mekaina bond with their tulkun, including Ronald and her soul sister Roa. Soon, Querich and his team show up. They mercilessly kill a tulkun and threaten a Mekaina woman unless they disclose the location of Jake and his family. Spider becomes horrified and tries to get his father to stop. The villains then begin to burn down their trees and homes. Querich orders his team to attack to draw Jake to them. Loeke once again tries to ask Payakan what he did to make him an outcast. Payakan opens his mouth and allows Loeke to enter him and link with him. Loeke sees Payakan's memories and sees that he attacked the whalers because they killed his mother and family. Loeke attempts to relay this new information to the Mekaina, but Jake tries to shut him up so that they do not risk further alienating the Mekaina. Loeke talks to Syria about this, and she believes in him. The whalers begin their attack, launching harpoons filled with inflatables and piercing the fins of the tulkun, including Roa and her child. After collecting their material from her, Ronald and the other Mekaina arrive, and Ronald wails in agony at the loss of her soul sister and her child. Tanawari and Ronald, along with dozens of angry Mekaina, turn their ire toward Jake for leading the villains to their land as they knew would happen. When Jake points out that the Tulkun will be marked for death with the whalers' trackers, he tells the Metkayina to warn the Tulkun before more of them are killed. Loeke heads off to warn Payakan, despite Nedium's warnings against it. He follows his brother, along with Syria and Aonung, and then Kiri and Tuk. They find Payakan, already hit with a tracker. Nedium contacts Jake to alert him, and he and Nate Tyree head off to rescue their kids. The whalers initiate their attack, going after the kids and Tulkun. Jake and Nate Tyree are joined by Metkayina warriors in the fight. The kids are captured in the struggle and are held prisoner on the vessel. When Jake and company arrive, Querich orders him to stand down, holding Loeke at gunpoint to show he's serious. Jake prepares to surrender himself until Payakan sees his soul brother in danger, so he leaps out of the water and slams down onto the vessel, taking some whalers down in the process. The Gnostics use this moment to charge into battle. With help from Payakan and the Metkayina, they are able to kill most of the whalers. Scoresby attempts to harpoon Payakan, but he manages to wrap the wire around their boat, killing the men and severing Scoresby's arm in the process. The kids escape, and Kiri uses her powers to manipulate the ocean environment to kill some whalers. Spider also turns on the other humans and rejoins his Gnostics family. In the midst of the battle, Nedium rescues his siblings and their friends, but he is shot. The family gets to a rock where they attempt to help Nedium, but he succumbs to his wounds. Naitari wails in despair at the loss of her son, and the rest of the family is devastated. Querich contacts Jake, revealing he has Kiri and Tuk as his hostages. Jake heads into the sinking vessel for the final showdown, accompanied by Naitari, Spider, and Loeke. Naitari ruthlessly slaughters Querich's team in retribution for Nedium, just as Jake goes to face his nemesis. After Jake frees Tuk, Querich emerges with Kiri and a knife to her throat. Naitari grabs Spider and threatens his life in return. Although Querich tries to deny his care and relationship with the boy, he relents and lets Kiri go after Naitari cuts Spider across his chest. Naitari brings the kids to safety, and Jake decides to end it with Querich, fighting to the death. The vessel starts to come down completely, trapping the family underwater. Jake fights Querich until he manages to get him in a chokehold and let him sink underwater. Loeke finds his father, who tells him to go without him since Jake doesn't think he will make it, but Loeke helps him breathe the weight Syria showed him, and they escape with Payakan. Meanwhile, Kiri summons the underwater creatures to help her get Naitari and Tuk out of there. Spider swims to save Querich, but he abandons him for his evil deeds and rejoins Jake's family, with Jake officially taking him in as a son. Jake prepares to bid Tonawari farewell, but he tells Jake that he and his family are Metkayina now and are welcome to stay. The family then holds a funeral for Nedium, where his body is given to the Tree of Souls, and they are told that he is now with Iowa. Jake and Naitari link themselves to the tree, where they are able to see Nedium through memories. Jake, recognizing this land as his family's new home, vows to continue to fight and protect them. Years after Jake Sully joined the Gnostics as chief of the Omadacaya clan, he has built a life and family with Naitari and their kids Nedium, Loeke, Tuk, and Kiri, who is actually the biological daughter of Grace Augustine's Gnostics avatar, along with a human boy called Spider. The RDA returned to disrupt their tranquil existence by colonizing Pandora and forcing the Gnostics to relocate, with Jake leading warriors to fight them and wreck their supply lines. This forces the RDA to awaken the avatars of their deceased mercenaries, led by the newly resurrected Colonel Miles Querich, who has his eyes set on revenge against Jake. After the villains threaten Jake's family and home, he takes them from the forest and moves them to the eastern seaboard of Pandora to the home of the Metkayina clan, who have a deep connection with the underwater life. Jake's children, Loeke in particular, bond with Syria and Aonung, the children of the Metkayina's chief Tonawari and his wife Rommel. While the Metkayina are initially distrusting of the Omadacaya, they teach them their ways and welcome them to their home. Kiri also discovers that she has a deeper power and connection with the creatures. Querich and his team work with whalers to hunt the Tulkun, creatures that the Metkayina have deep connections with. Loike bonds himself with Payakan, a Tulkun that is considered an outcast. When Querich and his team begin to lay waste to the Metkayina homeland, Jake and Nate Tyree are forced to fight back. The kids go to warn Payakan, leading to them getting captured. Payakan helps the Gnostics fight back, with many of the whalers getting killed, but Netium is fatally shot. Jake goes after Querich, who has taken Kiri and Tuck hostage. Naitari kills the rest of Querich's team before threatening Spider's life to save Kiri, and Querich relents since he is the boy's father. Loike and Kiri help their family get to safety, while Spider saves Querich but abandons him for his cruelty. Jake and his family are accepted by the Metkayina and are allowed to stay. He and Naitari are able to see Netium by connecting themselves to the Metkayina Tree of Souls.